MLM Recruit on Demand. If you don't have that set up yet, you're going to want to get that. I talked about that this morning. You definitely are going to want MLM Recruit on Demand. It's being integrated with the Legends more and more all the time. And so you definitely want to have that. And how Rex and these guys are doing it is they're using solo ads to uh, get their leads list increase significantly, and then they're just directing those people in that list. Rex is just hammering on them 3 to 5 times a day and inviting them to the workshops. Come learn how to build your list, and then introducing them, giving them the value, and then introducing them to his mentor. And so we'll definitely be going over how to do the solo ads. I'm not a solo ad expert by any means. I did my first real one. I've done a couple in the past, but I did my first real one the other day. Some of you guys may be a lot further along on that than I am. But just doing what Rex had taught, very simple. Didn't even have to create the ad. The gentleman, I hooked up with him on Facebook. Super, super nice guy. So nice to work with. So anybody interested in doing the solo ads, definitely that's the way to go. Facebook, we'll do some stuff on Facebook. I know we've had a lot of different team members out there doing a lot of different things with on Facebook. Some of it good, some of it not so good. And as I shared with you guys this morning, I had uh, I had the distinct pleasure of spending some time with someone recently who's got this thing going out there now on Facebook where he's going to help you slam your friends list up to 5,000 like right away. And so I got on a Skype conversation with this person, and I was not impressed. I would not hop on that train if I was you guys, because I just heard that Facebook is going to they're going to change their algorithms or whatever, so that anybody doing that thing, doing all that, slamming in, juice up the posts and all that kind of stuff, they're going to go to Facebook jail. So I just be very cautious about some of the things you jump on Facebook. The other reason, my opinion is that it can tarnish your reputation, because some of these guys are just jokers, and what they're really doing is they're using your friends list, your friends, to bang up their autoresponder list. They're just growing their list with your friends is basically what they're trying to do. So they're making it look like they're doing your favor, but they're really not. We're going to talk about stuff on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you need to get on YouTube. YouTube quickly becoming the #1 ranked website ever. I mean, people are bypassing Google and go to YouTube. I personally do that all the time. If I'm looking for answers to something, go straight to YouTube. So if you have any ability whatsoever to create videos, and you don't always have to be in front of the camera to do that, there's ways to do screen capture and stuff like that. So YouTube is definitely the way to go. The other thing we'll talk about along the way is the danger of trying to do it all. And don't we do that as network marketers? We start doing something and we're over here doing this, and then somebody does a training on Instagram, so we feel like, oh my gosh, now I got to go do Instagram. And then and then the next day somebody's doing a training on Pinterest, and you're like, oh my gosh, now we got to drop everything and learn everything about Pinterest. And so what happens is, I have accounts with all of those. I have an Instagram account, I have a Pinterest account, I have accounts all over the place, LinkedIn, IBO, I have them all. But I'm not strong in all those different places, because you can't be. You've got to pick, you got to choose your weapon and get good at it. And so I'd say that, it's okay to listen and learn, listen some of the different trainings on these different things, but pick the one that really resonates with you. The one that you feel like, you know what, I enjoy doing this. If it's videos, do the videos. If you're good at Instagram, then get great at it. Become a master at it so you can train people. I mean, learning something like that is money in your pocket. It's money to you. I mean, seriously. If you learn Pinterest, for example, and you get so good at it that you're driving leads and you're building your business from leads that you generated off of that, then that's money to you. And then being able to take that skill and teach others just skyrockets your value. And that, at the end of the day, is what you want. You want to become valuable from what you know, your knowledge, to share with other people. So, and that's what our goal here is keep pushing and keep training and gently nudging people until everybody gets there. Hey, I need to be the trainer. I need to be the coach. I need to be the leader. So for right now, the workshop schedule, even though on the when you first logged in, it may have said 3 o'clock, we're not prepared to do a whole lot just yet, like multiple ones a day. The vision for this is eventually have enough people in place, team members, and maybe even some of the legends themselves will hop on from time to time and do a workshop for us so that we can have a live workshop before every live event, just like what Rex and those guys are doing. Of course, Rex is pretty much like, he's a horse. So he's like, he can plow through and do all these himself. I can't quite keep up with that physically. I would be exhausted in a couple of days. So I won't be able to keep up with that schedule just yet. But what I'd like to do is draw off of you guys and pull you guys in to do some workshops. So we're going to be growing it as we go along. For right now, 11 and 8, and we'll go from there. But again, this is a formula that I feel like will be of value to you guys. If we find that it's not, then hey, we ditch it and do plan B, right? We'll go to something else. So, and for those of you, now let me ask real quick, is everybody still hearing me okay? Somebody drop a Y in the box, just let me know. You guys still with me? Can you hear me okay? Rebecca, you out there? I want to make sure I'm being seen before I. Are you guys hearing me, or have I gone silent on you? It looks good on my end. I just want to make sure. Okay. Oh, Mike is here. Yay. All right, Mike. I think I figured out. I had some help with Rex this afternoon. We figured out our problem. We had outdated software, so that was part of our problem. So I'll get with you after this is over and let you know about that. So anyway, just want to see if there was anybody on here that wasn't officially part of the Legends already. If we have anybody that's like absolutely new that was maybe invited here or whatever. If not, I'm going to assume everybody is. Okay. Oh, hold on just 1 second. Okay, let's do this because it looks like there's one on my end. Okay, is there a chat box there now? You guys seeing a chat box? Rebecca said there was no chat box. There we go. Okay. Well, dang, I didn't know you couldn't chat with me. I wondered why. I thought everybody was mad at me or something. All right, now. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, I was like, nobody's talking to me. What am I doing? Okay, so again, I just want to check everybody here that's on here with us right now is already part of Legends Network. We don't have anybody that's like totally brand new going, what is this crazy lady with the hair talking about? How did we get here? We don't know. So if there's anybody brand new, we'll pray for you, okay? We'll get you through this. Oh, there are some guests? There are guests here? Holy cannoli? Who's a guest? Who's a guest? Speak up. Let me know who you are. Lyle's a guest? Okay, well, welcome, Lyle. Great. You're in on just the real beginnings of this. So awesome. Okay, well, great. Good deal. All right, we're going to get into some content here now before we'll break off in time to get you to the live launch event with our mentor, Val Smith. But I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of this morning. He's Lyle. Okay, so Lyle from Lyle, depending on which Lyle you are, you may or may not be already a member, but that's okay. That's cool. I'm going to go ahead and share with you a little bit more what we talked about this morning, the mind-mouth connection. I want to issue a challenge to you before we finish here, and I want to hear what I want you to do for those who have oh, so Lyle's been a member. Okay, I figured that that most everybody here was already a member with us. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the mind-mouth connection. And this is not your normal mindset training. We've all been there. If you've been in this industry for more than 5 minutes, you have heard talk about the mindset, goal setting. You know what our mentor, Val Smith, talks about goal setting. We don't even, oh, Joel's hollering at me. What's Joel hollering at me for? Hold on. Oh, never mind. I thought maybe he was trying to get in the webinar room or something. Okay, so We don't do that. We don't do the normal mindset stuff. We hope things are going to get better. We're going to set some goals. And the reason that that doesn't work is because when you set a goal, you're giving yourself permission from the beginning to not make it happen. Well, I'm going to write this down and maybe or maybe not, or I'll make a stab at it. But no, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about taking control of your life with your mouth, your mind, what's in your heart, and actually seeing something change. Okay, moving some mountains. It's time to move some mountains. Anybody else here got some mountains they need to move out of the way? So I'm going to share with you a little bit about my testimony and how I know that this works for you. And I want to convince you that every word that comes out of your mouth is either propelling you toward your destiny or holding you back from it. That's how powerful the words are that come out of our mouth. Okay. The power of the mind. Here's what people always say. People say, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay. I'm going to get in this company and just going to, just going to get in there, hope something happens. I'll believe it when I see it. And no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, folks. We have to believe it before you'll ever see it. You're getting in here. You're going to make this thing work. You might not have all the answers up front. You may not be a power recruiter right now, but you're going to stick with this thing, and you're going to stick with these people who are behind you and who are pushing you and who won't give up on you. And you're going to see that you're going to make this thing happen. And let me tell you this, and I didn't share this morning, but I'll share this with you now. The company that I was in the past, that I had my most successful run with network marketing. And the mentor or the business partner that I told you guys, you've heard me talk about on the calls with Val, that I was on track to hit a 6-figure income in less than a year. And my business partner was creating their own internet marketing program. And Mike Langis was on that team with me, so he knows very well what I'm talking about. And when they launched that program, I lost my business. And it was it was a pretty significant thing. I mean, my family and I could have been put out on the street because of that. Sorry about that. Puppy decided to come running by. Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, it'll come back. I was going to tell you the story about when I lost the business there. Okay, it'll come back to me. Anyway, you got to believe it before you see it. The science backs me up. The Bible backs me up. There's a neuroscientist by the name of Dr. Carolyn Leaf. If you haven't seen her online, she's written a book called Who Switched Off My Brain. And this book goes into extreme detail where she shows proof that science, they can now take pictures and show what your thoughts create. Your brain excretes chemicals, and you actually build like these little living trees, and they like intertwine and that sort of thing. And if your mind is right and you're focused and you're not being eat up with, for example, fear, and you're not harboring unforgiveness, and you're not eat up with memories of bad things that happened in the past and so stressed and all that, then your trees look green and healthy and flowing and that sort of thing. If not, they're black and they look sick. And it basically, she gives the example of like a burned up forest. It looks like a toxic, it's death. And that's literally causing sicknesses in our body. And so she goes into great detail. If you haven't seen her, you can Google her and see some of her video stuff on YouTube. She does a fantastic job of explaining, yes, neuroplasticity, and it's absolutely, you can change the physical makeup of what's going on in your head, which in turn you can change what's going on in the outside world by what you say. And it literally, she takes, and what I like is that she's taken science and proving it's like science is backing up the Bible. So it's like she's not using Bible, she's using science and saying, look, this is backing up what you're seeing in the Bible. So I love that. Absolutely love it. Okay, the double whammy is this. You cannot say one thing and believe another. You've just erased any chance that you're ever going to have anything. It's not going to work. You cannot be double-minded with this. When you open your mouth and say you're going to do something, oh, now I remember. That's what it was. When I was doing that business, okay, before the whole launch thing, and I was in the process of building that business, it took me 5 months to get my head wrapped around how to do this, to stop trying to reinvent the wheel. But every day I got up determined that I was going to figure this thing out, because I believed it was real. I believed it was a real opportunity. And every day I would tell my husband, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. I would look at him. I'd be fixing dinner and I would just stop and I'd look across the room and I'd say, I'm going to figure this out. And he would always say, with such just quiet confidence, I know you will. I know you will. And finally, one day, it's like the light bulb just went off. And I was like, you know what? These other people on my team, they're following the protocol. They're following the scripts. They're calling these people and they're, following the scripts exactly. And they're getting new signups in their business every day. And I'm sitting over here struggling, trying not one sign up in 5 months, not one. But every day I told my husband, I'm going to figure this out. Well, you know what I finally figured out? It was me. I was the problem. I wasn't doing what other people were doing that was being successful. And I couldn't see that. But finally, one day, because I kept telling myself, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. Guess what? I figured it out. So I called my upline, who at the time, everything was great, and had a long talk with that person. And I said, okay, this is it. This is it. And they said to me, who are you upset with? And I said, myself, because I'm the one holding me back. And so we talked for about 45 minutes that day on the phone. We hung up. The next morning I got up, got on the phone, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take this person through this script. I'm going to do it exactly the way that they do it. I don't care if they hang up on me. I don't care how it turns out, but I'm going to do what they're doing, because what they're doing is working. And you know what? I signed up 11 people in 10 days, and I signed up no less than 20 a month thereafter. But it was because I kept saying, I'm going to figure this out. Sometimes that's what you'll figure out, that maybe you're stuck. You're sticking yourself. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. But it will come to you. But you have to believe that. And I honestly believe that with my whole heart, that I would figure it out. I would figure out the problem. And I did. I figured it out, and bang, it was success after that. And so that's why you cannot be double-minded. When you start saying these confessions that I'm going to be teaching you guys to say, when you start making your declarations, you cannot be double-minded. You cannot say, I'm going to receive this, I'm going to have this, and then in the back of your mind thinking, well, probably not. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days when things seem like this mountain is not moving, and it's going to be tough. But you have to keep saying it, and you have to keep believing it, because it's just a test, okay? I call this brain boot camp. Okay, what we have to stop doing before we can start seeing success, we have to stop praying, speaking, and meditating on our problem. Here's how most of us pray. Okay, we go to God and we tell him the problem. Okay, God, here's the problem. Here it is. And you haven't fixed it. And it's this, and it's this, and it's that, and it's that. And you know what? He's up there going, I know your problem. I know what the problem is. He knows. But what we do is we pray and we speak and we meditate on the problem constantly, instead of speaking past it and speaking on what it is we want, and then expecting the power of our words and our mind and everything to line up with it. Now, I know some people get off into, people call it new age stuff and all that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you, it's not that. It's not that. When you boil it down to what it really is, the word tells us that we are made in the image of God. You're not below the angels. There's God, there's you, there's the angels. You are made in his image. So guess what that means? That means that the words you speak out of your mouth possess the same power and authority that his does. We just don't tap into that. We don't believe that. We don't think that. So we have somebody have to come along and tell us, oh, you got to ask the universe for it. Oh, you got to tap into your higher self. Well, you call it whatever makes you feel good, but I'm telling you, I'll just preach it how I see it, okay? So you have to focus on what you want. And the reason that I'm so adamant about this, and I'm going to keep doing the boot camp, and I'm going to keep preaching this to anybody who'll listen. I don't care if I have one person in the room with me, is because if we do it together, if you band together with other people who are believing for the same things you are and who will remind you and be speaking it with you and for you, I'm doing this over you guys already. I hope you know that. I am speaking this stuff and speaking for you and proclaiming it for you, that you're going to get to everywhere. You're going to have the success. Your families are going to be blessed because of your association here. And when we start saying those things and believing it together, we can move mountains. We can move mountains. It's just, okay, so this is a little bit about, are your trees healthy or toxic? And again, this is just about the more we meditate on the bad, the more we meditate on the problems, and our problems are real. Please don't let anybody make you think that they're discounting your situation or your problems because we're saying, okay, you got to talk positive in the face of this. You got to believe for it no matter what. And you're thinking to yourself, you don't know how bad my problems are. Well, all I can do is share my problems. I can share mine. My life's an open book, okay? Because I know a lot of the things I've experienced, you guys either are experiencing, have experienced, everything from health issues. We have gone through the valley these last few years, lost everything. I know what it feels like to have them jack your car up on the low boy and take off with it. I know what it feels like to stand on the courthouse steps and watch them auction your house off after you left everything in pursuit of ministry. It wasn't like you lost everything because you started a meth lab in your back door or in your garage. Not everybody who's lost everything is a punk and a an outlaw. I mean, you know, so yeah, I know, tough stuff. Tough stuff. Family acting crazy, kids out there and just you're going, oh my gosh. So you know what? Being in the right place with the right people who can say, you know what? I know exactly. I know because I'm experiencing it. I either have or I am, and you're in a place where I'm still going to help you. We're still going to lock arms. We're going to speak about what we're believing for and where we're going, not where we are. Because here's the deal, folks. Your situation, your circumstance does not circumvent your destiny. Please write that down if you're a note taker. Your circumstances does not circumvent your destiny. And if you're here today with me and you believe like I do that being an entrepreneur is a calling for you, then you better believe you're going to be in for the fight of your life. And that's why you need to hear things about the mind and what's going on in your head and fighting it and that sort of thing and locking arms with people who believe the way you do. Another thing we have to do is we have to stop the instant replays in our mind. We play these, and have you ever done this? I do this all the time. I mean, it's crazy. You know, you've had this situation, you've had this incident happen, and 6 months later, you're replaying that situation in your mind. You know, you're peeling potatoes for dinner, or you're mowing the lawn and reliving that situation, that hellish fight you had with a family member or a kid that's acting crazy or some situation in your life. You're reliving that thing over and over into your mind, and you can feel your blood pressure just rising, and you're feeling all the emotions of that, just like it was happening fresh all over again. You have to stop that. You have to learn how to stop the instant replays, okay? And how you do that is you physically have to say out of your mouth something. I always say out of my mouth out loud, vain imaginations, no matter what it is. It's not like it's something imagined that's not real. It's a real event, something that really happened in my life. But I'm dwelling on something that's negative, that's going to bring up negative energy, that's going to bring up negative feelings, that's going to make my body hurt because I have fibromyalgia. So anytime I get tensed up like that, oh my gosh, it just causes pain everywhere. So we have to stop those things in their tracks and purposely out of our mouth say it, make it stop, and then reposition your mind and refocus on where you're going, what you're going to do. You know, even if that situation is something that you have to deal with something right now, it's a situation where you're like, okay, I'm in it, I have to deal with something. Okay, focus on what you can do. Think about what you can do, but reliving the nightmare is not going to help us get where we need to go. We have to be on our guard. We have to be on our guard all the time. You have to guard everything that you see, and everything that you say. We can't watch anything we want to watch and say anything we want to say and expect to get where we want to get. We just can't. We just can't. You have to live at a different level. You want to go to a different level, you have to live at a different level. You can't get down in the mud with the pigs and not get dirty. I'm sorry. It's just it's just the truth. You just can't. And you cannot be talking contrary to what it is you're after. You want to be rich here, you came here to get rich, then you need to line your mind and your mouth and your heart up with that. And you need to distance yourself from anybody that doesn't believe that way, even if it's family. You can't be hanging around people that are trying to kill your dream. You can't do it. You have to constantly be feeding your mind with your confessions, with books, with verses from the Bible, whatever it takes. You need to constantly be feeding your mind with what it is that's focused on where you want to be and where you want to go. And being in this environment with folks like myself, with being on the calls with Val and the other legends, and being around that environment of people who've already made it where you want to go, that just continually feeds that spirit, that entrepreneurial spirit inside of you. So, so important. All right, let's ditch, lose the losers, ditch the deadbeats in your life. People, you have to protect yourself from people in your life who are determined to kill the dream. You have to protect yourself from them. And 99% of the time, they're family, your own family. I guarantee you, if I ask each of you individually, you'd be like, yes, 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 it's family. Why? I can't explain it, but most of the time, the people you bump into, most of us are who are entrepreneurs and big dreamers and big visionaries, we're the only one. We're the only one. And the family, your friends and family come along, and what they try to do is kill your dream. For some reason, that entrepreneurial spirit threatens people. It just does. Even if they're happy as a clam where they're at, they work 9 to 5, they're happy, they have good jobs, that's great for them. But you say you want to be an entrepreneur, you say you feel like you have a calling, you start talking about dreams and visions, and they will come after you like with daggers, So you have to protect yourself from that. And if that means distancing yourself from family, you have to do that. From friends, if you have friends that have nothing but negative things to say about your vision and what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve here, they're not really your friends. They're not the people you need to be hanging around with. And if they're not blood family that you have to spend some time with from time to time, then you need to ditch them. You need to find new friends to hang around with. It's that serious. Surround yourself with people in every aspect of your life. You're online here, you're surrounded with people who believe the way you do. That's great. You need to stay plugged in here all the time. Out in the offline world, again, your friends should be people who feed your spirit and your soul, and if they're not, ditch them. And your distance. And that means if you can only see them at Thanksgiving or Christmas, then that's it. I mean, that's the way it is for me and my family. That's just, it's sad, but it's true. They're just dream killers. I shared this story this morning. I don't know if we have any new folks that weren't here, but I'll just tell this briefly. When my mom passed in 2012, the week that we were with her during the time that she was in the dying process, I really felt like that the Lord gave me a real insight, like a panoramic view of her life. And he really gave me something that I felt was a word to share, that I felt like that I wanted to share at her funeral, where I could just stand and publicly edify my mom and bless her life and just really, speak what was on my heart. And I shared with my sisters, who my sisters all live real close to where my mom and dad were, and we live a little bit out of town, about 45 minutes, hour drive away. And I let them know, because they're there, they were making the arrangements, that I would like to speak at Mom's funeral. So the days leading up to that, Mom's passing and that sort of thing, initially they were like, oh yeah, sure, anybody wants to say anything, that's fine. But little did I know that as soon as that came out of their mouth, they started thinking, oh no, we can't let her speak. And literally, I found out 2 minutes before the funeral was supposed to start that that this was all going on. And my sister informed me that she said, you would be an embarrassment if you tried to preach. So needless to say, that was pretty tough to find out that you were not going to be allowed to stand and say goodbye to your mom in the way that you felt like was on your heart to do. And not only that, but your family just put the seal stamp and seal on it that they felt like that you would never be a person who would stand up and speak, nor were you supposed to, and that if you tried to be, you'd be an embarrassment. So that's how that conversation ended that day. Excuse me, guys. I didn't turn my phone off. There we go. And but anyway, you know what? I had to. It was a pretty tough few days after that, but I've had to forgive, and we move on. That's what we have to do. But here's the deal. This many months later, I'm introduced to the Legends Network. I start building my team. I put together a call for my team on Monday mornings where I can get together with everybody and just say, you know, give a word of encouragement before we go into our week. And I did that. And we were doing the phone conference on the phone that day. And someone asked me, would I record it, because she couldn't be there that morning. I hadn't thought to do that. Didn't think I was going to do that. So I did. I went ahead and recorded it for her. And I just put the link to the recording in our Facebook group. And I was very surprised to see that Val typed in, I'm listening to it now. I had no indication whatsoever that Val Smith would be listening to our Good Monday Morning Team call. Well, the next thing that happens is I get a call from Val Smith, who is asking me, first thing he says to me basically is this: you have a gift, you need to be on stage. Now, what do you think that did to my heart after what I had been told at my mom's funeral? What do you think that did to my spirit? I mean, my Lord. Who do you think I need to be spending my time with the dreams and the visions that I have? You know, to have Val Smith speak that into my life, what a blessing. What a blessing that was after having had that experience that I had. It was pretty tough. And so, you know, just to let you know that when you get in the right place around the right people, they will pull out the best in you and they will make you believe in your dreams again. Okay? Because if I listened to my family, I would not be here right now. I guarantee you that. I would not be on those calls with Val. But I know what my dreams and my visions and my destiny and my calling is, so I'm moving forward. And I have to push past whatever gets thrown in my way. So that was now I'm going to share another little story about myself, about the confessions and declarations, because this is the direction we're moving in. This is the thing I want to train on. This is the thing that I'm so passionate about because I believe in it so much. And so I'm going to go into this a little bit, and then I'm going to cut you guys loose for the next call with Val. And this is it. Okay, I want to convince you with everything I have that the confessing and the declaring and the declarations, what you know in your heart is true about your life, it absolutely is, and you have to get a hold of that thing and you cannot turn loose. Okay, several weeks ago, before I was introduced to the Legends, I was having a bad time. I mean, I was in a state of despair. God, is this valley ever going to end? And on that particular day, I was so upset. I was literally just saying, God, just let me die. Just let me die. You know, we've been in this so long. It's not happening. I have tried so hard to rebuild my business and our life. What is the deal? And I was so upset. Well, I got up from that and I had a conversation with a lady who's a fellow believer. And she asked me, she said, Sherry, are you guys doing your confessions? Well, we're believers. And through this whole process, we've prayed, we've fasted, we've done a little bit of all of it. But I'll be honest, it has gotten so tough and so hard that we had gotten so bogged down and bent over under it that no, we weren't confessing every day. We weren't saying our confessions every day. I'll be honest. And so she shared her story with me about how they had gone through something pretty similar to us. And that within 2 weeks of really, she cried out to God and she really felt like he told her he was waiting on her. He was waiting on her to start speaking it, speak the truth, speak it. And so they started doing confessions 24/7. And within 2 weeks, things started turning around for them. And so we didn't hesitate. We believed in it and we didn't ask questions. We didn't go, well, this might work. Do we think it'll work? I don't know. We started. I downloaded a program on my phone. I have a Galaxy S3. I don't know what you guys have, but I got a program on here that has it has a repeater, has an endless loop. And I started downloading those confessions, just speaking them, has a recorder, and then you can press the little link and it'll just replay that one over and over. And I just started recording one after the other, and we play them 24/7. I put this bad boy under my pillow, and Dean put his under his pillow, and we played them 24/7. When we were getting ready, when we were eating, when I was driving in the car, I mean, 24/7, these confessions are going out. Well, what happened? Initially, we had a little setback. We took a little bit of a hit. Why? Because it's a test. Okay, it's a test. It's just going to happen. You're going to put it out there. You're going to put this effort and energy behind it. And what's going to happen is you're probably going to have a little bump in the road. And it's just a test to see, okay, will you just believe in it that long and you have a little bump and boom, it's over. Okay, well, this doesn't work. I quit. Okay, so we took a little hit, but we said, you know what? We're going to keep going. And we did. And we kept going and kept going and kept going. Within 30 days of the day that I was laying on this stool, sitting right here behind me, crying out to God, asking him to let me die, within 30 days, I met my new mentor, and my team has gone from 0 to over 400 in just a few weeks, and doors of opportunity have opened for me that I could not even have dreamed of in just a few weeks. And I believe with everything in me that only happened because we lined ourselves up, we lined our mouth up, we lined our mind up, and we started focusing on it, and we got a hold of it, and we're not turning loose. And you know what? We're not turning loose now. We're continuing on with it, and we're going to. We're going to. And I just hope to convince everybody who will get on these calls and listen to me that it's absolutely truth. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of ones we use. If you're taking notes and want to write them down, what you do is you're going to say these with absolute gratitude and belief. Okay, start confessing out of your mouth out loud. One example: thank you, God, for the ever increasing, never ending flow of money coming to me from multiple streams of income. Example: I attract wealth daily in great abundance worldwide. In exponential quantities, it is my destiny, it is my purpose. If you guys are taking notes and want to write that down, if not, I'll flip right on to the next one. Write these down, start speaking them, start putting them in your ear. Why do you need to say it out loud? Why do you need to put it on a recorder? Because you need to hear it. And I can go into some training and train you and teach you about the subconscious. Your subconscious is your computer chip. Your subconscious just records all this stuff, and it just plays back things in different situations. Oh, this is what we do. Oh, this is what we do. Oh, this is what we do in this situation. Oh, we get upset and go off in fear, or we go off on a tangent in anger. Oh, this is what we do. It's your computer chip. And the only way you can reprogram that thing is through here. You have to hear it and hear it and hear it and hear it again. Okay? Until it gets inside of your head, your heart, your soul, and you reprogram your subconscious. Reprogram it. Oh, good, Freddie Mac. I didn't do this one again because we're just doing beginner. I didn't expect to get off in all this deep stuff, but I'm glad that you are. Good deal. Okay, so tell me more for anybody who's interested. This is one that I like because I feel like that it's an absolute declaration of the fact that our words have power and literally have the same kind of creative power that the God of the universe has if we'll tap into that. And the one I like is because I'm made in the image of God. Like him, the words that come out of my mouth contain the power that created the universe. Why do I want to call on the universe for answers to my problems when I'm tapped into the one who created the universe? Like him, the words I speak have no choice but to come to pass. That's why we have to be so careful about what we speak. You have to be careful. You cannot tell your kids, you're stupid like Uncle so-and-so. He was this, he was that. Do not speak that stuff out of your mouth. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Because our words have no choice but to come to pass. They will come to pass one way or the other. Sooner or later, it will happen. Okay? It happens for the negative, but guess what? We can make it happen for the positive. We just have to dig a little deeper sometime for that. Okay? And I say that I am wealthy, healthy, whole. I have total life prosperity. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Okay? And I have tons of them, and you can do them specific to your needs, your family, your desires, your goal, your focus, your destiny. I will have a foundation. We have Rebecca, who's been with us here, and she has an animal rescue organization, and I know the dreams and visions she has for that, and she can speak over that. So we have to get a hold of it. We can't turn loose of it. And I just want to go on and on. I want to go into this stuff so much more because I want you to believe it. I want you to believe it. I want you to start doing it. So here's what I want you to believe. I want you to take away from this is this. You cannot let your circumstances circumvent your destiny. You have to speak over, you have to speak through your circumstances until they move. When do you stop speaking this stuff? When that mountain is flat. When you got where you want to go, and then you pick your next target and you go after that. So until you reach the level of rich or wealth or whatever it is that you're after, you cannot stop speaking it. You cannot stop believing for it. Ever, period. It's part of who you are, and you will not let go of it, no matter what. No matter what. Good days, bad days. I'm tired. I don't feel good. I'm sick. I'm frustrated. I'm exhausted. I'm delusional. Is it ever going to happen? No matter what. Okay? You have to keep believing for it. You have to keep speaking it and not give up. Not give up. I'm telling you, there are people out there who are waiting. There are people out there, please hear me when I tell you this. There are people out there who are waiting. They're living up under a bridge, and they're waiting for you to step into your destiny. I promise you that. I promise you that. There are people who are waiting. There are people who are never, ever going to get beyond where they are. There are people who are waiting for you to step into your destiny, achieve the wealth, achieve the resources, to create what's in your heart to create that will change their lives forever, that will rescue the abandoned animals and abused and hurting children and feed the hungry and dig the wells in Africa, right? That's the kind of stuff that's on your heart. I know what the kind of stuff is on your heart. I know I could line everybody up here right now and hear some fantastic dreams and visions. I know that. I know that about you. You wouldn't be here if that wasn't who you are. You wouldn't be hanging around these kind of people if that wasn't what's in your heart. And you're in the place where you're connected with people who believe that way and who are going to encourage you, push you, train you, pray over you, speak over you, and not give up on you. The only person out of this group that can possibly give up on you is you. If you decide to walk away from your destiny, that's your choice. But I tell you what, it won't be because that we haven't locked arms with you and believe in it for you and with you, because I believe this is what you were created for, and I believe you believe this is what you were created for. I just have it, I feel it down in my bones, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to stop preaching at you tonight. What I need you guys to do is give me some feedback if you found this helpful. If you think that this was of value to you, please let me know. That's important to me that you let me know that. I hope that it is. Pray that it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little, we're going to break off here to give us just a couple of minutes as we prepare to head off and hang out with Val for a little bit on the next call. Hopefully I'll be able to meet up with you guys there. I have an appointment, but we'll see if we can make that so I can make the 9 o'clock call. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at the 11 here, and then 12. We're going to get this mapped out. We're going to do some techno stuff. I know you guys want to learn about the technical stuff and the autoresponders and all that kind of stuff too. This is my area. This is my area of expertise, so to speak. This is my heart and my passion. So this is where I'm going to be focused on most of the time when I get the opportunity to be on here and share with people, because I know that lives are going to be changed because of it. So you guys are awesome. You be blessed, and I'm going to see you at 9 o'clock.